Hi, this is Chris Smith, Shambles Guru up in North Thailand. It's January something 2011, and I'm really excited, well as excited as you can be on a Monday evening, to tell you about ShamblesPAD, which is here. There's a URL at the top, www.shambles.net/ShamblesPAD2, but the main ShamblesPAD is ShamblesPAD.com. Now let me tell you a little bit about this. This is using the open source software from Etherpad. So it's built on top of Etherpad, and it's an application to allow people to collaborate in real time over the internet. And it's pretty amazing software. But let me show you a bit, give you a bit of history about it first of all. Oh, if you want to come to this page, if you have a mobile phone or a webcam that can photograph its own screen, if you take a picture of this QR code, it will take you to the page that we just came from. Etherpad was a little company that was formed, well, the details are here, back in 2008, but a little over a year later it was actually bought by Google. And bless their socks, Google actually got a lot of stick when they said they were going to close Etherpad down, and really they responded within a couple of weeks and said, "Okay, boys and girls, we'll make Etherpad open source so you can still use it." I think Google bought Etherpad to use in Google Wave, and also to use in Google Docs for real-time collaboration and Google Apps. So that's the information about Etherpad, and it's here, and you can come and have a look at the specific details in your own time. URLs at the top here. Just do a search for Etherpad on Wikipedia. Now, what happened when the source went open source is a number of people took it and put it on their own servers and created their own Etherpads, and there were names like TitanPad and PrimaryPad. And most of those were available free. Actually, there's one in India, though. I've forgotten the name just now. There's one in India that had a free version, but also had a sort of a upgraded version with lots of bells and whistles. In fact, you can see a list of those. Let me come across here onto the Shambles website. Wrong list, wrong tab. Here we go. There's actually an Etherpad, ShamblesPAD area on Shambles, where you can come, and here there's a list of Etherpad public sites. So we were lucky in the education community and elsewhere that we did have some free options to go to. PrimaryPad and TitanPad were two I used a lot. But then what happened is a group of now I'm not going to call them geeks, although they're pretty smart guys and girls, set up the Etherpad Foundation, and they've been developing the Etherpad software, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. The Etherpad software, and they've added some rather remarkable additions since they went to Etherpad 1.1, which I think was October 2010. So this is the Etherpad Foundation, and you'll find information about them here. They don't produce Etherpad or host it themselves, but they're working on the code continually, and it's amazing what they've done since Google let go of it. There's a video here you can come and look at. You can also follow the Etherpad Foundation on Twitter. Let me see if I can just bring that up. This is their address here, etherpad.org. They don't have many followers at the moment, but hopefully you'll be one of those followers. So let's have a brief look at what it's about. So let's have a look at what I've done. I've taken the code and I've put it on some servers, and I have a domain name now called ShamblesPAD.com. So there is a version of Etherpad which has been branded and put on servers for ShamblesPAD. I should have had some music here to have some trumpets. Let's click on here to go to ShamblesPAD itself. It doesn't look exciting, but let's just see how easy it is to create a pad. We go here, click on it, and that's it. That's all you have to do. and there's an address here which has been given, ShamblesPAD.com. Some awful code numbers and letters, N54PT4RXYC, and I think it's case sensitive. Not I think, it's case sensitive as well. And you could come here and anything you type, I'm just typing on here, anybody who's at the same address, wherever they are in the world, will see what is typed here. Pretty amazing. Actually, this code here is a bit yucky. Let me show you a little trick. If I actually replace that code by something, let's say I was going to do an Etherpad about conference. No, what should we do? About elephants. Elephants. So I wanted to have an Etherpad about elephants. So if I type elephants in there and press enter, Etherpad actually says, there isn't one. Do you want me to create it? And if I click yes, then it's done it. ShamblesPAD.com/elephants. If you had a code for your class, you could have a class name there and followed by a subject. There are a number of things here on this page, and you could actually, people when they come to the page can put their name in here. Let me put mine in, Shambles Guru. Put their name in here, and you get a color, and each person will get a color, and then when you type, let me come down to here and type something, you can see, very creative typing. You see I've got a color, but you can turn that off. I actually find that a bit awkward. Let me just go up here and turn it off. Authorship colors off and hide. And in fact, when my personal use is I just use this part of it. I don't often use this chat part, although it's been suggested to me by a teacher if they were using it with students, that the students will be working collaboratively here and that they keep this part for comments from the teacher to the students. But if you're not using this, actually we can just drag it and give us a bit more room here. Something that the Etherpad Foundation has added is this one here, with so you can affect the size of the type. It used to be always very small, and they've added this button, which is just fantastic, especially if you're projecting it onto a screen. A few other things up here is whatever's typed here, and on this particular one there's no security. You can't password protect it. It's just a very simple, quick way of creating a pad. Once you've typed something, there are ways of exporting it as HTML, plain text, a bookmark file, a Word file, PDF file, or an open document for OpenOffice. So you can actually do that. You can, and it's recommended you do it, save a version of the pad. So I've just saved a version of this pad, and I could save it again in 5 minutes if there's been a certain amount of, if there's been work on here. So you have a record, and the interesting thing is you can go back and see earlier records. And what really blows your mind is that, oh, mine anyway, maybe my mind's a bit simpler, is that if I go to this part, which is the timeline, is I can go back and press play, and what it does is it plays through the text. It was not done much, so there wasn't much happened then, but it plays through the text as it was created. So if the students were doing a project, a long project, you could actually see what they did, and if they deleted something, you'd see the deleting happen as well in this timeline. Actually, one thing I found a little bit off-putting was I couldn't find a button here to go back to where it is, where we were working, and that's because we actually opened up in a new tab at the top here, so I can click on that and I'm back to here. Now, I think I might stop here because it's 10 minutes, that's long for a screencast. I think I might stop and then come back come back and do this create a team site later. And the only thing, what I'd like to finish on, well, just a reminder that there's lots of Etherpad advice here. But I just want to mention that it sounds very grand that I actually put an Etherpad together, but I didn't really. I'm not that techie. But what I'd like to do is to share with you the company. It's a company that has representation in well, their servers are actually in Denmark, and they're called Nixtech. So these are the guys that actually are hosting ShamblesPAD and have done all the techie stuff and research to make it what it is. Actually, I'm going to share the guy who did a lot of the work with me. Here he is, Thomas. So Thomas, if you're watching this, I'm really grateful. And for those who are looking at this, who'd like to set up an Etherpad themselves, maybe a school or an individual, then Thomas is somebody you could contact. But keep in mind, if you're a school and you've got a really big techie department, then you can download the free Etherpad software from the Etherpad Foundation and install it yourself. But it's a bit of a labour of love, so I'm told. It's not that straightforward, but I'm sure your techie guys in school might be able to manage. But for those that don't, here's one link, somebody who you could go to find support on that. So I think that's everything, and I will come back later to do a part 2 of ShamblesPAD when we look at the team aspects of it. So I hope you found that useful.